guys, Keandra here. Thank you so much for tuning in to our second episode of Discovering Your Purpose, Part 2. I got two of my closest friends here. We got Carla, Kathy G in the house. And we're just going to be talking about continuing that conversation, talking about purpose, passion, and kind of what led us there. So guys, we'll dive right in. So I'm going to start off with the first question for you two. What is purpose?
When I think about purpose, I think about I guess a lot of people think about their careers, but it's like more than just a job. So we all have like different passions, different skills that we have, different things that we love to do. So when you kind of put that together and actually like working out those passions, like for the most part, it's usually like your career or something like that. And you're working it and you're loving it. You're using every part of like your skills and doing it. And if you didn't have to do anything else in life, like if that was the only thing that you had to do for the rest of your life and you'd be happy with it, I feel like that's kind of like what a purpose is, or how you know like that's something that's like a purpose for you.
That's good. I love that. Carla?
That's cool. Definitely agree. Want to add on to that. I've been thinking about like how purpose is like God's will for your life. And so like we have so many different interests and gifts like Kathy was mentioning. And then like within different seasons, we're harnessing more skills in a certain area, or like concentrating on an interest in this area. And then so I feel like it evolves. I feel like purpose doesn't stay the same. Like it builds on what you're already interested in or what you're already doing to go into something else.
That's really good. You brought up a lot of great points. Kind of jumped the mic on us there. Oh my goodness. So guys, we will continue on with our conversation. So let's just dive right into you guys' experiences, when you discovered your purposes. Let's go right into it. Your purposes and your passions in life. So we'll start with you, Carla. What was your experience with discovering what you're passionate about?
Okay. Y'all, it was a long journey. Let me tell you. First of all, I want to put a disclaimer out there. College is a great place. If you can go to college, go to college. Great experience. You meet great people. Networking. You learn a lot about yourself. But college is not the definitive purpose you're going to have in life. Okay? It's not set up to help you find your purpose. You have to find it on your own. Okay? So I knew once I graduated senior year that I had no idea what I was going to do after college. And I think I was okay with it, but it was like coming back to my mom and being like, yeah, so, what I told you I was going to do, I'm not going to do that anymore. So I went on, a gap years, right? So first I was like, oh, I'm going to do one gap year. And so I was taking like GRE, not really sure what I was going to do. And then I was like, yeah, I'm going to get in my MPA, Master's in Public Administration. I'm going to do it. And then I was like, I don't really have an interest in that. I don't really see me doing, what am I going to do with that? That's the question I asked. What am I going to do with that? Who am I going to help? I didn't really see where I was going to go with that. And then I was like, dang, law school sounds good. Like I could be a lawyer. People keep telling me I could be a lawyer, right? I'm good at debating. I'm good at arguing. I mean, that's not what being a lawyer is all about. But, and I told my mom, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a lawyer, whatever. Y'all, it wasn't for me. Okay. I started applications. I got like letters of recommendation. Y'all, I took the LSAT 3 times. It wasn't for me. Okay. It wasn't until I was talking with an advisor where it's really like, girl, are you sure this is what you want to do? Because a lot of people go to law school and they come out and they're like 6 figures in debt. And they're not even using their law degree after they graduated, because they could have done the job that they got after law school without their law degree. So then it was like, is this really what I want to do? And even more so, I think writing about it, like having to write a personal statement. I think the biggest indicator was that if I could not write a personal statement about why I wanted to go to law school, that it probably was not the place where I should be. I'm not gonna lie. Not knowing what you want to do is very frustrating. Yes, very frustrating. You can get into a mode of sadness because you're just like, what am I supposed to be doing in my life? Where am I supposed to be going?
I feel like that's the common question for a lot of
Okay.
What am I supposed to do with my life?
Right. And I think the biggest thing is also comparison. Because when you start looking, you're seeing like, oh, my friend, well, she's going to medical school, or he's in law school, or oh, she got this internship with this company and that company, and you're like, dang, I'm at my mom's house working a little
social media.
Right. Working a little retail job. I'm just like, what am I doing? And then literally I had to do a lot of thinking, like going down to the core, what do I like? And then one thing that I knew for sure that I like working with kids. And I didn't know how far I was going to go with it or in what direction. But I decided, let me volunteer with children. So I volunteered at the Boys and Girls Club. And I do love kids. Y'all, I think about like the different experiences I've had in my life. And a lot of the joy that I've had has been working with kids, volunteering with kids. But I knew I wanted to be more than like a counselor. Because, baby, them kids. I love children, but more than a counselor. And then I was like thinking maybe scholastically, like I could be working with them on an academic level. So then I started substitute teaching. And I was like, oh, this is great. I actually like teaching. I like teaching the kids things. I like having conversations about different things, like outside of school. Like we talk about like maybe like space and planets, but then we'll also talk about like what does it mean to be a superhero or having superpowers, or like what does it mean to persevere, or oh, if I had $1 million, I would do XYZ. So we'd have like intimate, like deep discussions about different topics. And then I was like, I can do this. I can really do this. And so from there, I just kind of got set on a path to teaching. And that's what I do right now.
That's awesome.
God is good. God is faithful.
How about for you, Kathy? Like, tell us your experience. What was your experience when you discovered your passion? What was it all about?
I gotta follow up with that. That's my fault. I chose to go second. But okay, let's see. Gotta think about way back when. So I don't know how many of y'all grow up in like a Caribbean household, but some of the things that they push and career wise is doctor, lawyer,
avocado,
engineer. I don't know how you say
engineer. Okay.
In Creole. But so like growing up, I was very much a nerd, like A student, all that type of stuff. So my parents were always like, yeah, if you're doing this, you gotta be a doctor. There's no way anything less would be not acceptable. Mm-hmm. So like that was always in my mind. But like some of like my actual interests when I was like in elementary or middle school, like I always loved math. That was always my favorite subject. So I loved numbers, and I always loved music. Like that was like the two things that I remember I really enjoyed when I was like in elementary school, middle school, high school. But I never thought anything more than that. They were just like, oh, these are just things I like, and that's it. My goal in life is to be a doctor because that's what my parents said that I should be, and nothing else would be acceptable.
Yeah.
So obviously coming in college freshman year, like most of us, we're going in thinking that we're gonna be doctors and go into the medical route,
baby.
So I went in with a chem major, and it's not even that like I did horrible in the classes. Like I passed the classes, but I was just like, I don't want to do this. So it's like, I don't want to do it. And it's like the same thing like when you're thinking about like if you're ever writing a statement or something, and if someone asks you why you want to be a doctor, I never had a real answer for it because it's just like I don't know. I feel like I'm supposed to be a doctor. I don't have a real reason why I should be a doctor.
Right.
So that was red flag number one. I think after freshman year, I was like an undecided major for a while and exploring different things. I took a couple of music classes, but I couldn't. Other stuff that it didn't go too far than that. Yeah. One summer I did like a really like a small internship when I was back down south, and it was like in a Haitian museum, and we did like a little bit of like we got to see a little bit of like the business side and the accounting side of stuff, and that was like the first time when I was exposed or like saw like numbers and doing that for a business and accounting and all that type of stuff. So that's what kind of intrigued my interest in that, because it wasn't. Oh, at some point I was a math major too, so just put that there.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. But after doing that, it was like, oh, this is like, I love numbers, I love doing math stuff, but I don't want to just do like calculus somewhere in I don't know, the government or something like that. This was like doing numbers and finances and stuff like that for a business. So that's what kind of like sparked my interest in accounting, and I was an accounting major for pretty much the rest of my college year. And that was rough. I'm not gonna lie to you. There were times where I was like, God, am I really supposed to be doing this? Because there were times where I thought I was gonna fail a class, but I didn't. I still passed it. I made it through and everything like that. And it's like, it felt different because it was like the information that I was learning, even though I was doing all types of stuff. It was hard to study sometimes. It's like the information that I was learning is like, this is like actually interesting stuff, not like that chem stuff that I was learning before. Like, that's what the difference was. So even though it was hard, I felt like I want to pursue this more because I actually have an interest in this. I don't know how much more farther I should go, but so anyways, I got my degree in accounting. The thing is, I thought about like going into like accounting and CPA and all that type of stuff, but I liked the material, but I wasn't too interested in like the corporate job type of thing. Like it didn't. I've heard so many stories and it just didn't feel like fulfilling for me in that sense. So like while I was like trying to figure out, I got a job in the financial aid office, and that's where I like worked with students and college students, especially like incoming students, and you get to like help them a lot with how to budget and how financial aid works. And like I liked that aspect where like I'm communicating or interacting with younger people who don't know anything about budgeting and finances and all that type of stuff, and that kind of sparked another interest where it's like, dang, we really don't learn this stuff in high school or middle school or anything like that. And these kids are college kids. Technically, we're supposed to be adults, and we know nothing at all. So I kind of got more involved in that, like trying to do financial literacy presentations. Like we don't have like a set financial literacy program, and that's actually something that I hope to like help develop within the office and the university and everything like that. And even maybe, well, I'm not gonna say maybe, I'm gonna just and even hope to do that like outside of that, like not just college students, but like create, I don't know, like financial literacy programs for even in elementary school, middle school, high school, so they have like some type of exposure. So that's what kind of sparked that interest in financial counseling, financial literacy, and all that stuff. And that's like one part of my vision. I don't know how much, because like there's different aspects that I feel like God is leading me towards. I don't know how much time we got to go through all of that. But that is like one aspect of it.
One aspect of it. First of all, that is just incredible. Just like hearing everything that y'all been sharing, and just like hearing like the early beginnings, you know, from like childhood, like your reasons for wanting to pursue the careers that you were. And then just seeing it, like, just being cultivated, you know, like, throughout college and then post-college, and then seeing just, like, where you guys are now and what you're doing, like, that's huge, you know. And I'm so curious, like, you know, who were some of those major players for y'all, like, in making those decisions? Like, you know, what were the spiritual elements, if there were any? You know, was it, you know, like, any mentors, friends, like, books you've read, anything you've researched? Like, what were some of those major players for you guys with, like, helping, you know, kind of with that the interests versus, you know, childhood pursuits, you know, and like making that fine line, drawing that fine line between the two?
That's a good question.
I know for me, the turning point was talking with an experienced adult. Like, sure, I mean, we have our parents and stuff like that, and I'm not saying it can't be them, but like somebody who's not putting pressure on you to be something, or like trying to sway you a certain way. Somebody who's like unbiased, who can like tell it to you how it is, that you can just be honest and open with. Because after speaking to that advisor, the university advisor, she just put it out there. She was like, you can't tell me why you want to go to law school, but that's where you're trying to go. And really, if you can't explain why you're trying to do something, you have to ask yourself, is this really something I should be doing? Right. You know? And so from there, you just start thinking like, whoa, like, what do I like? what do I see myself doing in the future? Like, take it step by step. You gotta have baby steps. Think about what your interests are. What do I like? And also pray on it. Not gonna lie with you. You can't figure this thing out on your own. You can talk to everybody in the world, but you're not gonna have clarity and certainty until you talk with God about it, right? God is gonna order our steps. There's a verse in Proverbs like, what is it? Order your steps before God, and He'll make known. He'll order your plans. Oh Lord, I'm butchering the verse. Goodness gracious. Yes. I can see the verse in my head. But like literally just giving it before God, and also just trusting in God, right? And also timing. I think one of the things that people like to push is, oh, I need to be doing this now. Okay, she doing that right now. He doing that right now. I need to be doing this right now too. But it's like, who told you that's the time they're supposed to be doing that? You know? What if this is a period of time where it's supposed to be longer for you, that you're supposed to be soaking in certain skills or meeting certain people in order to get to the path that you need to be on?
Right.
Okay? Everybody's timing is different. The duration of time it takes for you to get somewhere is different. Everybody's destination is always going to be different. The journey is going to be different. So I think also don't compare yourself to other people. Okay? Take it step by step. Enjoy the process. I mean, the process is not fun when you don't know what you're going to do, but really take time to sit and talk with God and figure it out.
That's good. That's so good. And I love just the emphasis that was placed, you know, like just like even like you know, when you talked about just speaking with some of the university professors and things, like I think that's so important, you know, like reaching out to adults who have those experiences. Like you never know, like in Carla's instance, she brought about one of the university faculty who, you know, knew people who went to law school, had friends and colleagues that went to law school and just like shared their experiences, you know, like just like you need that like she said, real-time adult advice that sometimes like we just don't get, you know. Being straight out of college, or like Carla mentioned, like college does not prepare you for discovering purpose. It's choose a major, you know, and then you have 4 years to get out and graduate, you know. And so it's good to like get that advice or internships, you know, just different things to kind of help with like cultivating you into like your purpose and identifying what you're passionate about. So that's great that, you know, like you have those people in your life to kind of help, you know, instill those things. That's really good. And I'm so curious, something that, you know, Kathy, you kind of mentioned that earlier, with just like the financial side of things. I'm so curious, you know, we've been hearing a lot about, you know, you hear a lot about, especially when you're in college, like, man, when I graduate, I'm already in a lot of debt, you know, from these student loans and everything. And it's just like, you know, trying to find a career that will cover all this debt I've now put myself into. Okay? So cover that debt and take care of you, your family, or just whatever, you know, goals you're wanting to do. And so often, especially, you know, with our parents, like we're taught, okay, you need to find a career that's going to be able to pay all those things and pay you well. How about you're going to have a great salary where you're not going to have to depend on anyone. And so I'm so curious of you guys' experiences with that. Like, what was that like for you when you first graduated from college? Like, with choosing the career paths that you guys initially were, so not, you know, where you are now, but what did that look like? You know, were you guys focused on the salary elements? Did that play a part at all? You know, and if it did, like, let's hear about it. You know, was money or like having this like ideal, you know, 6-7 figure salary, you know, play a factor in initially choosing that career path for you guys? What was that like?
I mean, it was only playing a huge factor because my family made it seem like it was the number one thing, like it has to be. And I get it, like when you have parents, especially like immigrant parents who are coming here, they just want the best for their kids. They want to make sure they don't have to struggle financially like like they were when they were coming up. So I completely understand that part and why. I think at some point for me, it just became like, like you see stories all the time of, I mean, some people are like happy or whatever, they say that they're happy, but a lot of times you hear people like, oh, they have the 6-figure salary, but they hate their job, and they don't like what they're doing. It's like, I don't want to live my life like that. Like I'd rather pursue something that I love to do, something that I know that I'm good at, instead of just solely chasing like the 6-figure salary and
Right.
I hate what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's like when you chase that and it's not even something that you love doing, it's like all the talents and stuff that you had that you could have been doing something that you actually love, it kind of, it's wasted.
Yeah.
In a sense. So yeah, I think for me at some point I was just like, I don't even really care. I want to do something that I really enjoy or I'm really interested in doing. And luckily for me, I know it's not the same for other people. Like I know, like, you know, telling your parents like, I don't want to do this anymore, I want to do this instead. Most parents would be like, you crazy, like you crazy, you not gonna eat. They try to tell you gonna be poor for the rest of your life, that type of stuff. But luckily for me, my parents were really encouraging and really like supportive about that. So it for me, it didn't feel like I'm letting them down or I'm doing something stupid. Like I felt like okay, it's okay, I could try to pursue something that I'm actually interested in doing. And I think the other aspect of like in college, that was also my time of like that's when I really found God, like for real, and actually started like my spiritual walk in that sense. And like even during that, like I felt like it's like when you truly trust in God and trust in like his will for you, like Carla said, like he has a will for all of us, like the provision will come. It might not be a 6-figure salary all the time, but he will provide for you, like you will be okay. So it's like I found trust more in that instead of like trusting the money more. Like I trusted more that, okay, this is what I want to do, I feel like this is what I'm leading to do, I'm going to pursue that, and I know that I trust that God will provide in that as well.
Man, that's so good. That's so good. Even like thinking about like your story, Kathy, like, you know, with your accounting degree, you know, from undergraduate, like you could have been out working at a Fortune 500 company making that 6-7 figure salary, but like that emphasis was placed on like you weren't chasing that. Like that wasn't like a part of that purpose. You know, like it was more important about doing what makes you happy, what makes you're passionate about, and makes a difference in the world. So that is so awesome. You know?
I definitely agree with what Kathy's saying 100%. I also think this. There's nothing wrong with not making 6 figures. You know what I mean? Like, 5 figures is good, y'all. I'm not gonna lie with you. Like, I think there's this big concern about like, oh my gosh, like is it gonna be enough? Is it gonna be enough? But like Kathy's saying, are you trusting God that it's gonna be enough? And then 2, are you living within your means? Because a lot of people are trying to keep up with the Joneses. You know, I don't need a Rolex. I don't need that new Gucci, Fendi. I don't, you know, like there's nothing wrong with having luxury items. But then if it comes at the expense of like you paying for rent or you paying for the necessities, right? You got to do your necessities first, and then if you can afford the luxury, maybe, but save too, right? Save for the future. You want to get a house, save. You got a car, pay off your car bill. Okay, you got student loans, save. Hey, heck, look into student loan programs so you could get some of that debt paid off. You know what I mean? Like, it's real out here. Also, don't put yourself in too much debt either. Watch out for the credit cards.
Shoot, messing people up.
You know, Kathy could tell you. Shoot, but you know, just I think we need to be vigilant too and be careful about what we're trying to do. Not trying to take on too much debt if we don't have to. Also, trusting in God to provide for us. But yeah.
To add on that, because that's a good point. Like the other thing is like sometimes we have to like learn to be satisfied with some of the things that we have too.
That's true.
Like when we're always like wanting the Rolexes or the biggest house and not living within our means, that creates a problem because you think you never have enough, but it's like you have what you need. You're just wanting something else that you don't need. The other thing is like going back to like the finances, a lot of people don't know how to manage their money.
Right.
That's a good question. Yeah.
A lot of people don't know how to manage their money. Like they don't know how to steward or manage the money when they're at that 30,000 salary, when they get to the 50, when they get to the 6 figures. Like even people at the 6-figure level who don't know how to manage their money, they're like squandering the money.
That's good.
Like if you knew how, like if a lot of people, and this would frustrate me too, because Because like I be working with these students and they don't know. Like it's like when you sit down and work with them and then you plan out the budget with them and then they see, oh, I have enough for this. I don't need to take all of this. Like it's like an epiphany moment for them.
Wow.
So like even like help when I like help people with like making their budget and they can see what the heck I was spending $800 on groceries or this amount on this. It's like we need to learn how to manage our money.
Yes.
Like if we're able to do that, we can see where we can cut expenses, or you can see that maybe I do have more than I thought I had, or maybe I'm spending on stuff that I really don't need to be spending.
Right.
That's a good point.
Right.
So.
I love that. You guys raised some great points, especially Carla. Like I like the flip of that, you know, having that 6 or 7 figure salary, it's not a bad thing, but it's like what you do with it, like being able to manage it, like both Kathy and Carla shared. You know, that's really important, especially coming out of college, you know, so taking budgeting classes or just, you know, finding someone, you know, expert. I'm sure they have like on the university campuses, like just, you know, free people who are like experts in this material, just like kind of help you managing your funds and everything. But those are such great points you guys raised up.
Could also add YouTube. Y'all use it all the time. Google, you know, find somebody trusted, you know, with good reviews, good stars, you know.
Right. It's all here.
Yeah.
You know? But and I wanted to kind of go back to us talking about like the family element, because I know we have a lot of people, especially in our age group, that you know, like you go to school wanting to pursue certain careers or taking specific positions, you know, and doing it like for your family, you know. And so we kind of talked about family that, you know, may be supportive or unsupportive of just decisions that you want to make with your career. Like, can you guys like elaborate on that? Like, if you had that experience of having like unsupportive family, like what was that like? Like, how did you get through that? How did it impact you know, your decision with your career? And it's like, what advice would you give to others who are dealing with that same the family pressures? And then, you know, in terms of sort of going after what they're passionate about, but still wanting to make their family happy. Like, what would be advice that you guys would also give about that?
I feel like this is your right here.
Right. Okay, so when I found out that I wanted to be a teacher, right? So I had a similar story to Kathy, right? I went from like undergrad wanting to be a doctor, right? I was like, I'm gonna be a surgeon, I'm gonna go to med school, I'm gonna do it, and then bio, I said, heck no. It was Orgo for me, y'all. Organic chemistry took me out.
Orgo for you?
It was the Orgo, bro. Orgo took me out. I said, I'm done. So going from that, and then I told my mom, I was like, yeah, so I'm gonna, you know, work internationally, work with like non-governmental organizations, nonprofits. That's what I'm gonna do. Mom said, oh, okay. I have a friend. My friend's sister does that. You could do that, yeah.
Just like that?
Yeah. She's like, yeah. I was like, and then after I graduated, I said, yeah, mommy. So I'm not going to grad school. And she was like, what? And then so I did get pushed back on that. I will say this. I thank God that my mom still allowed me to move back home, right? Because it would be another story if she was like, you're not doing what I want you to do, you're not coming back home. Because I know some people's situations, it could be like that, where you're on your own financially, and that could be a huge influence in what you're doing right now and where you're working. But I was able to come back home and stay with my mom. And even as I was trying to figure it out, like once I said, oh, I was going to go to law school, I was like, oh, that'll hold my mom over, right? My mom would be like, yeah. My mom's like, oh, law school, lawyer. I see it, girl. I see it, sweetie. I know it. And then the next year I said, mommy, it's not law school no more. So she didn't like that either. And then when I said I was going to be a teacher, she didn't like that either. Even while I was in my master's program for teaching, she still didn't like it. Even when I graduated, my mom and my dad were like, so what's the next step? You going to do law school now? I'm like, no, this is it. My first year teaching. Can you pay all your bills? You thinking about going for a PhD? Law school, you can still do law school, right? Y'all, so I still got pushed back on it. Yeah, they're still not satisfied with me being a teacher. But at the end of the day, I think about it like this. Am I going to satisfy God, or am I satisfying my parents? You know what I mean? Like, or man in general. Like, if this is the place that God wants me to be, the road that God wants me to be on, like, this is the path he's directing me on, like, I can't even imagine, like, all the great things he has set up for me on this path. Like, as much as my parents have like my best interest at heart, or other people may have my best interest and be like, why are you doing that, girl? Girl, don't be a teacher. You got all these degrees. Go be a professor. Like, no, like, I hear what you're saying, but my God has something bigger, a bigger picture that I can't see, you can't see. So I think keeping in mind, like, why are you pursuing the path that you're on? And I know it's scary to go against your parents, or especially if it's something that you know they may not like, but like, pray to God about it. Ask God to soften their hearts. Ask God to like clear the path for you. Like, God is not going to leave you on your own to pursue this. Okay? Yeah, I would say go for it. Honestly, I don't want to hear, okay, the one thing I don't want is regret. Like, I don't want to live in regret of thinking, dang, why didn't I go for it? Dang, God told me this is what I should do, but here I am still, you know, working at, dang, I'm not going to put nothing out there. I'm not going to put nothing out there. But still working a job that I know that's not it. Go for it, y'all. Just go for it. God will literally open the doors. Literally. To get into my program, the door opened like this.
Yes. That was a crazy couple of months.
Yes. Between the time I figured out I should be a teacher and the time I started grad school, it was probably 5 months. Everything was set up.
You had a home, you had a roommate,
yes, home.
All of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like that, more like things fall into place.
Yeah.
You know, when you're following God, and you know, it's still important. Like, you know, you love your family and everything, but it's like what God has for you. Like, that's what's most important above all else.
Yes.
Because everything will fall into place, and He'll be guiding you every step of the way. I love that.
I will say, still be respectful of your family. You know, still help out around the house, do what you're supposed to do. You know, for real. You know. But you know, hear what they saying, but listen to God more.
I love that. You know, and that kind of brings us into like our next topic here. Like, when people are trying to discover like what are things that they're passionate about and like what they feel their purpose is, like, what do you guys think are the biggest drawbacks? Like, what are reasons do you guys think that sometimes it's so hard for people to identify what their purposes and passions are in life?
I think they, or a part of it, going back to like that whole comparison thing, they have like a lot of other people in their ears, or maybe they're seeing other people like living a certain lifestyle or doing a certain thing, and it's like
portraying something.
Yeah, and they're like really busy on trying to be like that person instead of like looking at what, taking the time to look at who they are and what their own skills in.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not going to be the same as that person, but because sometimes, I'm not saying everybody, sometimes people are so focused on being like that person, they're trying to get skills like that person or act like that person. They can't see their own gifts and talents that they have inside of them.
That's so good.
They can't be who God wanted them to fully be because
they
be somebody else.
That's so good.
I do think about finances. I think a lot about money, because we always think about, hey, how much is this going to make me? Is it going to be able to pay for my rent, my weekly nails, you know, my hair, you know, or going to the gym or stuff like that. And y'all, as much as money is important for living, money should not be the sole reason you live. You know, the sole reason that you are searching for your purpose. Because if you money is the reason, you're never gonna be satisfied.
Yeah, that's true.
What's that? Money can't bring happiness.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
I was gonna say something. There was a song that says otherwise, but I'm not gonna bring that up. I'm not gonna bring that up. Another thing that I was thinking about, I think fear sometimes too.
That's good.
Like sometimes you might have those gifts and talents inside of you, but fear makes you think that you're less than, or you might underestimate something.
Yes.
I know that was a big thing for me, and it still is. Even till now, I've definitely progressed, but I know that was like a big thing for me for sure.
That's good.
With the doubts too, like
you
start
doubts,
doubting.
Yep, they doubt their skills, they doubt their abilities.
You start, is this what God told me to do? Is this really it? Not wanting to take a chance,
Right. Not wanting to take a chance, or I'm not good enough, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love that. So I'm like trying to draw, like a line, like for everyone. So you guys mentioned like that doubt, fear, comparing yourselves to others.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think are like some big takeaways for like just like helping, to kind of block out, I guess we can call them distractions, from discovering that like that purpose and what those passions are.
I think back to the first thing that popped in my head was Andy Mineo. You can't stop me, right? He's like, my biggest enemy is me, right?
Mm.
And so like I think oftentimes, like as much as we have outside external influences on us, it's us, it's you. I think a lot of it is pushing yourself. Like when you start saying I can't do this, like you gotta be like, no, okay, let me try it. Like we gotta shift the way we talk to ourselves, the way we think about certain things. Really, we talk about this with the kids, right? We have a fixed mindset, growth mindset, right? Growing, right? Dang, I can't do this. I failed one time. Ooh, I think failure too. Like,
fear of failure.
Fear of failure, right? Like I failed one time. This not it. But it's like, bro, okay, I didn't get it the first time, but let me keep trying. Okay, I didn't get it yet. Let me keep going.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, because you're not going to get better at something the first go around.
Yep.
I know. I tell myself that too. I have to be like,
Like a lot of the stuff that we're saying, we've had like problems with that too.
Still working on too.
Still working on it. But I lost my train of thought. To add to that, oh Lord, what was the question again?
So it was, what are things that like practical applications
to get out of that distraction?
Yeah.
So yes, of course, like trying to change your mindset so you're not like just putting yourself down all the time. Sometimes, well, for me, I don't know if it's like it's gonna happen for everybody, but hopefully, like if there's people around them. I'll say this. I know for me, like some of the things that help is like other people recognizing those talents in me and like saying, bruh, you could do this. And it's like, of course, that self-doubt is like, you just saying that. I don't believe you. Sometimes if multiple people are telling you, yo, you're good at this.
Yes.
You might be truthful. Like,
that's true.
Not 5 people can't be lying to you.
Right.
Like, so,
okay, right. They don't even know each other.
So if someone is like, if you keep getting like that same message, like, yo, you're really good at this skill, you're really good at this skill, take that to heart. Like, explore that a little bit and see if that's something that you can develop, or see if that's something that you're really interested in, or maybe it is something that you're already interested in, but you've been in doubt about it, but people are telling you, yo, you can do this. Start believing them. Yes. They might be onto something there. So give it a try. At least give it a try.
Yes. Come on, y'all.
Yeah.
I got 2 things. I was thinking as you were talking. One, I would say write the vision down. Like write what it is you want to do. And like start figuring out, okay, what step do I need to take to get there? I think sometimes we can have it all in our head. But once we start writing it down and seeing what it is that we want to do and start like writing the steps, it becomes a bit more like practical, more realistic. Right. And then 2, I think meditate on the promises of God. You know what I mean? Like, because we can't change our minds on our own, like the way we think on our own. Right. But then we remember like, I know the plans I have for you, right? Plans to, dang, I can't remember my verses tonight. God!
Prosper you.
Prosper you, not to harm you. Right? Jesus, help me. Right? Jeremiah 29:11, right? Or we think about like, do not be afraid, for I am with you, right? Joshua 1:9, right? Just there's a bunch of verses, but like just remembering like you're not doing this alone. Like God has good things for you, right? For everything works for the good of those who love God, right? Meditate on His promises, like as every day, so to build up your confidence. And with confidence that not only in yourself but in Jesus and trusting Jesus and what He has for you. Yeah.
So good. Oh man, I'm just spitting fire out tonight. Oh my gosh. So well, as we're wrapping up, Carter, you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but so Kathy, maybe if you want to add, like, do you arrive to purpose? Is purpose something that you can arrive to? Is there an arrival point? Sometimes people, might ask us, do you know your purpose?
That's a great question,
Or is it a journey of cultivation?
Oh, you that in there. Okay, I see you. That's a really good question. I feel like this kind of goes back to what you first said of what you think purpose is.
Oh yeah.
I think it's a continuous journey for sure. All the skills, all the things that you learn in different seasons, you may use it for a purpose in this life, and then a purpose in this season in your life. And it may be like one thing that it's like your sole purpose. Like maybe, I don't know, this one thing, this is my purpose in life. But even within that, like there's gonna be different seasons of that. There's gonna be like really hard season where you have to overcome. There might be season where it's like the greatest thing, or it's the greatest time in your world. There might be seasons where you're like developing on that purpose, learning new things and just maybe taking it to a whole new level, and it might develop into something else. So I feel like it's a continuous journey. I don't think it ever stops. The hardest part is like finding what that path is for that journey. I think that's the hardest part, is like finding that starting path. A lot of us are like, we don't even know which path we're supposed to take. So I think I think
that's so good. I think you hit it perfectly, Kathy, on us, you know. And I
agree. I want to say one thing. I want people to remember, like, you can be more than one thing at one time. You know what I mean? Like, I think about like, oh, like I'm a teacher, right? And that's like my purpose right now in life. But it's like also while I'm teaching, I could also be maybe interested in, I don't know, painting. Maybe I'm an artist too. I could be painting and realize, yo, I love art. I love teaching my kids how to do art. Maybe I could start doing art classes or painting on the side, you know, do a little side hustle, you know what I mean? So you can be more than one thing at one time.
Right.
So don't limit yourself to just doing one thing.
And even adding to that, like when I was telling you earlier, like the financial part is like one part of what I think my thing is. And then I said earlier, like when I was younger, the two things that I loved was music and like math and numbers stuff.
Good.
Music for sure. I'm starting to feel like this is gonna be another aspect of my purpose as well. Like Carla and I, we do like worship with our church and everything like that, and it's been really great. Like the leaders there have like, you know, really encourages all that type of stuff. Like do it like different projects, and like now we're like at a point like we're even developing on that. So like when I think about like my life, I feel like the financial literacy part is gonna be one part, and I really feel like the music part is gonna be another part of that.
Huge.
So multiple things. It's not always like just one thing.
Yes.
And I love those points that y'all raise, because I mean it makes us think back to like our parents, you know, and even the generations before that, like kind of like how work was. You took one role and you stayed in that same job for years. Like with my mom, you know, she worked in the same position for over 45 years. But it's like that's just how it was. But it's like we're in a whole new generation, y'all, where we don't have to limit ourselves to one thing anymore. You know, like Carla talked about and Kathy, like it's like identifying what are those things that like you're interested in, like what are those things that, and you turn that interest into passion, and then that continues to keep growing as you walk in your purpose. And it's like you can only find those things out by trying out new things. If there's like Kathy mentioned, if there's things that people are mentioning, like, yo, you're really good at this, like hone in on that, like sit down, write it out, like Carla mentioned, and just start finding out, you know, what are things that I can do to just grow and develop in this. And like they said, it's endless, it's limitless. There is no limit. There is no one way of doing things. So I love that, y'all. Man, this has been such a great conversation. Y'all.
I know. I'm
like so good. And I just like as we're just a final just like conclusion summary, leaving out for everybody, like just what is some final advice that y'all would give to just all the viewers and just anybody that comes across and watches this video, anybody in their 20s or just whatever age, like any age, what are just some valuable lessons on just interest, passion, purpose, just family, whatever it is, do y'all want to leave for everybody?
Just do it.
Yes.
That's true. There's a song that says, just do it.
Just do it.
Especially if they don't even know where to begin.
Oh,
you know?
True.
And like how to find that.
I think I guess the first step, if you don't even know where to begin, is like maybe like just taking some time and just sit down and just kind of like reflect on your life.
Yes.
Even if like if I were to ask you right now, like, what do you like, and you're like, I don't know, think back. Like, think about, like, times where you really enjoyed something. Like, what is something that you remembered? Man, I remember back in middle school or something like that. I really loved doing this.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, think about stuff like that, like reflecting on what were some of those things that brought you, like, joy. I think that'll be, like, a good start to, like, at least know what, like, you're interested in. And then think about, has anybody ever, like we were saying before, has anybody ever said to you, yo, you're really good at this, or you're really good at this? Write those down. During this time, write those down. What else?
Pray over it.
Pray over it for sure. And like kind of look through all of that and invite God into that as well. And start from there and see, what can I do with this? What would make me happy? If I woke up and like something that I'd be happy to wake up to and do every single day.
Totally agree with what Kathy said. I would say also finding somebody you could talk with. Maybe somebody with experience or in the area, maybe who's lived a bit longer than you have, that could just really talk it out with you. Unbiased, neutral person.
And then 2 more things to add. Like when you're doing like the journal thing, I think that question of like, let's say that you have something that you think that this is the path that I want to take. Maybe like sit down and write down, like if someone were to ask you, or if you're like trying to be admitted into like their job or something, and they ask you, why do you want to do this job? If you're able to answer that like wholeheartedly, then okay, you're probably on the right path. But if you stuck on the first sentence and you don't even know where you're going, you might want to rethink that. And then I forgot what the second one was. I'm sad. It was a good one. I forgot what the second one was.
It comes back. We'll add it in the comments. That's good. That's so good. And I think seeking God too, y'all. That's so important.
I remember. Something like I don't know if I heard this somewhere, but like you can ask yourself, if the money didn't matter, if you were like good on the money side, like you don't have to worry about like money or anything like that. It's just solely on stuff that you like, and you were able to choose this career or this path or whatever it is for the rest of your life. What would it be like if money didn't have to play a factor in it at all? Like you already rich, you $8 billion rich or something. I don't know if that's whatever. But you don't have to worry about money. What would you want to do every single day for the rest of your life? That's what it was.
That's good. I also say, don't give up.
Yes.
Y'all, this is figuring out what your purpose is, your passions are. It takes time. It also takes a lot of quiet silence and solitude and prayer. Sometimes maybe a little bit of trial and error. As you know, how I did a lot of things, and here I am now. So just don't give up. Persevere.
And I think like even like hitting on the spiritual part that Carla brought up of just like really being in tune with God, like seeing God in that process. You know, when you're writing these things down that bring you interest, or you know others are talking to you about it, like yo, like you're really good with this, like talk it over with God, like ask, you know, pray and talk to God about like, God, like, what do you think about this? You know, is this something that is aligned with the purpose that you have for me on this earth? You know, is that something that I shouldn't be walking in? And then have that trial and error, but just like always ensure that you're still like just inviting him in every aspect of that, even when you're looking for that advice from just like elders and just like more wiser, seasoned individuals. But yeah. This was a really great conversation, y'all. This is really, really good. I think passion is so important, and you know, in our generation, it's really hard when we're pursuing things that make us happy instead of, you know, other things and stuff like that. So, thank y'all so much for this conversation. Like, this was so good, and thank you guys for tuning in. Like, we just really, really hope that this channel, you know, like this conversation that we had, this dialogue just like really resonates with you guys. We really just hope that like there's just so many parts that you can take away from you. Like we just got so much great information from experts, okay? Like I want to say experts.
You know, I'm still growing, I'm still learning in the Lord, you know.
I wouldn't say that.
But this was so much great information. if y'all have like, any questions, comments, like please feel free to subscribe. Please feel free to comment any questions or just any tidbits, advice, or just any further guidance that you guys have. Like, we're here to answer any questions, just help you guys on your walks, and don't forget to pray. That's most important. Like, inviting God into that. Well, thank y'all so much again. Be blessed. Have a blessed day, blessed night, whatever time of day it is for you. And thank you so much for watching.